Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 157. This podcast is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we begin the celebration of Solstice of Heroes, we get excited for the 3-tap hand cannon, and we discuss the best ways to wrap up our Year 1 collections. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT, and of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
I'm excellent. I am excellent. Coming off of a busy Friday. We're recording earlier than normal this week, something we're going to hopefully attempt to do more often.
Yep, this is our wild and crazy Friday night.
Oh, man, I tell you. It's already after midnight. So
it's cool, man. I'll enjoy having a fun Friday night recording with you.
Yes.
I'll take that. I've done some really lame things on Friday nights recently, so.
Hey, man. What better than to talk to your good buddy about Destiny, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know,
and
there's some other things we could do, but
stuff to talk about this week, man.
Oh, yeah.
I like when there's always something to talk about, but I like when there's new fun stuff to talk about in Destiny.
Yeah, like we're experiencing a new event or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, makes it a little more interesting than.
I'm sure it's good for the listeners too.
Yeah, right. They're like, these guys, man. They put us to sleep. There's nothing to talk about. Why did I even download this? Not true at all, right?
Because we will it to be so.
Every week.
But I don't think we have any announcements this week. We do have a giveaway.
Dude,
going.
Yes, we kind of teased today, didn't we? We've got thanks to Got Turkey, we've got a Gambit code to give away, which, you know, we've heard. Yes, emblem. Sorry, not
these
just the game
rare.
mode. yes, we've heard these are super rare. Only so many of them, and on top of that, we kind of teased a little bit today. We will be having some more giveaways leading up to Forsaken. So stay tuned, guys.
We have some gear, we've got some merch, we've got some Destiny Forsaken, maybe we're gonna be giving away a bunch of stuff this month. We just feel super generous.
We do,
and so
we thank you all.
Keep listening, keep your eyes on Twitter and Facebook and the like, for how you can win. You have a giveaway going right now yourself too, right?
Yes, our good pals Blue, you know, they like to let us give stuff away every month on the podcast, and then they also are so generous, they like to give us stuff, each of us, to give away, just kind of on our own personal channels, which is fantastic. And we've got a Yeti caster that they've given us.
Yeah, this is really cool. It's
like
cool. Like a bundle, and you have I think it's a blackout Yeti, right?
Yes.
So the really sleek looking black one. And then also the, what is it called? The little,
Radius.
Yes, the Radius, which is the thing that it floats in. So you have no vibration. And then
a little shock mount.
Yep. That's what there it is. Shock mount. That's what I was looking for. And then their really cool mic arm that they've put out.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm a huge fan of,
dude.
Me and Arrow can attest. We've both went through multiple different types of microphone arms, and
the ones that slowly droop down. Wow.
Yeah. And this is called the Blue Compass. It's really nice looking, but also literally the best one that we've ever had. And I had even sprung on $100 plus competitor that I was somewhat happy with until I got this one, and I was like, oh, this one's so much better. It's so sturdy. I love the way it bent. It's just great, man.
Yeah, and you described it pretty well. I think when it always sounds like we're talking blue up so much, but no joke, guys, just like we do everything else, we only tell you about stuff after we've used it for a while. And if we really enjoy it, we love to share that. We love to give it away. And no joke, like this Compass boom arm, you described it when we first got it, like it plays off of its own like weight, right? Its own, the way it's built and your mic, like it will. Well, you described it well, I think, when we first got these. I don't remember what you said exactly, but it's so sleek and it's nice. It's very nice. It's new. We got a couple, like Cyborg said, and we definitely love them. So
yeah, so this Yeti caster comes with the compass arm, the shock mount, the radius shock mount, and then a blackout blue Yeti. So pretty nice little bundle there. And Aero is giving one away. How can they enter to win that?
Go check out my Twitter feed at AER0KNIGHT with a 0, and you will see a nice little tweet there, a nice little crispy tweet with a link. And there's multiple ways to enter. It's going on for 2 weeks in 2 resets. Yes, as you're listening to this, actually, you will have 1 full reset, 1 week left. And you can enter to win, and I will announce the winner after that. Also, probably on my Twitter feed. So.
Awesome sauce. And then don't fear if you don't win it from him, I'll be giving one away.
Yes, that's what I was about to say, man.
A little bit later.
I'm pretty sure you might have one too.
Yeah, I do. All right. That's all the announcements this week. How about some news, bud?
Yeah, dude. We get
not as much news, but we got some news.
Yeah, we don't have all the random little tidbits. Game Informer stuff is wrapped up, but man, we got the usual. Yeah, it's almost thinking about the game itself being overwhelming once all this stuff launches. Like getting all that content that regularly, man, like it's a blast and it's exciting. But we are straight up working on the show notes all week because it's like, wait, did we miss something? Is there something else? Wait,
so much to cover.
Yeah, but we still got our meaty twab, though, right?
We do. This week at Bungie, the celebration has just begun. Of course, Solstice of Heroes began and launched, and it's a month-long event. It's available through August 28th, so that's, I believe, 4 total weeks of resets that we get to play. Also, they put up some really cool community highlights and stats. They haven't done this in a while. I love when they do these. We saw kind of a breakdown of how many players pledged to the different factions for each faction rally. I was actually surprised, man. There were more people in the second and third faction rally in total than the first one.
Oh yeah.
If I'm understanding this correctly, if it just went 1, 2, and 3. So, also
people
then
found
they
out
had
there were
like
catalysts and
the number of engrams open from each cult. What am I trying to say? From each faction. I read Future War Cult as I said that. I just said cult. Here's a cool one. These stats are all since Warmind dropped. 6,400,000 normal raid clears. That's quite a lot.
That's awesome.
757,000 prestige raid clears. Look at this. Leviathan kills. Okay. I had to double check the comma placement, but it's 1,659,000,000 kills on the Leviathan. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all these numbers, they really settle in when you take into account what you just said, that it's since Warmind.
Yeah, just since May? So that's May, June, July, 3 months. 194,000 players have Whisper of the Worm. That's a pretty good stat. If my assessment is there's probably around like 1.5 million players active right now. So that's a pretty good chunk of them.
Yeah.
And then a very low number, very elite class, 8,750 players have Redrix's Claymore.
It's really kind of crazy if you think about it. How many people are playing the game?
Yeah.
8,700
more than
people.
You might think.
We'll get into it and reset, but man, dude, like Claymore is on my to-do list, and wow, I'm just feeling I gotta you'd think 4 weeks is a long time, but when you factor in everything else and your game time, like I straight up, again, I don't want to get on this too long to a reset. I went into my to-do list today and like started to strategize exactly what I was going to do each time I logged on with the time that I would have to play. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get some stuff done, dude. I really don't.
Yep.
And
I saw a
really
tweet
plays Destiny.
Yesterday from Bones. He said, I hate the ticking clock in the back of my head telling me it's too late to get Redrix's Claymore.
Right?
That's pretty much to a T, right? Like,
I'm like, all this, I love this Solstice stuff, and it's leading all the way up to Forsaken, this Moment of Triumph stuff, and I don't have like a ton of it to do, but then after all of that I need to do, that's on a time clock, like Bones said, then I'm like, wait, I don't have Claymore yet. When am I going to play Crucible?
Yeah, if I was talking about it with my buddies the other night, and we were just talking about Claymore, and they were like, man, you can still get it. And I was like, guys, I would have to be on every night of the week, because that's what they did for like basically a month. A few of my buddies that I play with, they just played Crucible every night, and that was like at least 5 nights a week to grind to get there.
Yeah.
There's just, it's like an either or, you know, like either I can do all this other fun stuff or I could go grind that. And I'd rather have all this cool armor and get all these achievements. You know, if we didn't have Solstice, I might go do that, but
it's nice to have, it's nice to have this feeling. We've been asking to feel like the hobbyist is back into this game, and Forsaken hasn't even dropped yet, but I'm just like, man, I would, if I don't get it, it's fine. You know, if I don't find time to grind the Crucible that much, but it's not the first thing on my list. Like, I want to finish this Triumph stuff, and I don't know. We'll see.
I feel okay about it because in Destiny 2, I pretty much have not been the biggest Crucible player.
Yeah.
You know, like there were periods in Destiny 1 where I played a lot of Crucible and was really into it, but I'm not saying I don't enjoy it anymore. It's just not where I spend most of my time anymore. I just go in and, you know, play the events, and I'll play with buddies sometimes, but overall I really just focus on the PvE stuff, and I'm cool with that. That's where I've always gotten my most enjoyment of the game from.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, I've been spending more time at PvE
without it, man. Just have to live without it.
I still love my Crucible, and it's like, if you can get on a 5-game winning streak in the Crucible and keep that going for a little bit, it's crazy how fast your glory goes up. But man, it is. We spent a few hours. I want to say maybe it was last weekend, and dude, it's still sweaty out there. It's sweaty. So
yeah.
Anyways.
Further up in the TWAB, we get a detail on some of the gear that's going to go away when Season 4 begins. So to clarify this, they write, as Year 1 comes to a close, many of you are searching for every available item or piece of gear that can be found in Destiny 2. Some items will still be available in Season 4, such as destination weapons and armor sets. So that would be all of your different planetary vendors, which that's cool, because I was wondering if they would change any of that or if some of that would have limited availability. So that's one less thing you got to worry about if you're a collector. You don't have, you know, a crunch to get there. But other Year 1 items will be retired from vendors when Forsaken releases September 4th. So the Vanguard and Crucible Year 1 weapons, armor, and seasonal rewards will go away. Gunsmith, weapons, mods, and emblems from Year 1. Ikora, with her Vanguard research packages, her armor and emblems go away. The Trials, Year 1 weapons, armor, shaders, ships, sparrows, and ghost shells will be retired. Same for Iron Banner. And then Cade's stashes. He has emblems you can get from those that will be retired. Yeah. So
Yeah, this pretty much confirmed a couple more. Everything's relating to my to-do list because I still don't have the Darkest Before Trials weapon. So even though it's like towards the bottom, I still wouldn't mind trying to get that pulse rifle. And if I don't get it by Forsaken, it's gone.
I would recommend, I have known about this site for a bit, but I actually pulled it up last week, destinysets.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they have a few different ways that you can look at what gear you have, and you can see what gear, is available to compare. Okay, what am I missing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a collector and you want to make sure, okay, I have all the armor and weapons from each of these vendors that's going away before I, lose an opportunity, go check that out. They actually were in the Bungie Community Spotlight this week as well, which is really cool.
Yep. Very cool. Good timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's, not everybody, but a lot of people are starting to think about, having all that gear before it's gone. So, so go check that out. And then an interesting bit of news that they put up here is while these year one items will be retired from these vendors, their stock will be refreshed with new gear featuring random rolls ready for all players to earn in year two. Some items may return in year two, but not exactly as you remember them. Come September 4th, a small number of weapons that you know and love will be updated to year two standards, featuring random rolls and the capacity to accept year two weapon modifications. And then they have a picture of 10 better devils.
It's like, I think it might be coming back.
And somebody put on Twitter that the name of that image is 10th Better Devils, Better Devil, which is a callback to that infamous Luke Smith quote.
Yeah.
So I think we can expect that we will see an updated Better Devils, which is pretty cool. That's a great hand cannon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which is, it's cool to see that they're going to do that, instead of keeping them all static year one. Some of those weapons we like would be cool to see random rolls on. I glossed over this paragraph when I read it because I immediately started focusing on that year one weapons, would be coming back and maybe in like different chunks. And then, I saw a tweet later on highlighting the fact that first sentence says the vendor's stock will be refreshed with new gear featuring random rolls, which is what you said a minute ago. And it's like, okay, this is another thing.
That's great,
like
because
we've talked about, dude, it brought so much value to Destiny 1 towards the end of the life cycle of that one, because it was exciting to jump in and look at the vendor's stock every week. Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one thing that is kind of a weakness in Destiny 2 in the first year is that there wasn't, if you played a lot, there really wasn't a lot of purpose to getting, those like, so now in season 3, like we have rank up with vendors and you'll get packages. Mm-hmm. There's nothing from those that I'm going to get. Yeah. Like you get a lot of that stuff, through other means, like either through like your milestone packages and different things. And so like when I went to start ranking up my Vanguard with the over 1,000 Vanguard tokens that I've never used, I'm just dismantling everything. Yep. But how great will it be when you'll be able to use those to get, that week's stuff. Oh yeah. And you'll have a use for that currency.
Yep. Dude, random rolls, just some fashion of random rolls just adds so much longevity to the grind and the incentive, man. And this is exciting, man. This is another thing. I mean, we've talked about many times, many shows ago. This is just another decision that's going to be, that's fantastic when Forsaken launches. Like, it's going to just add so much incentive. So yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped.
For sure. Next up, they had a very short little trailer for the combat stream that's coming up. Of course, you're going to hear this show on Reset. So today at 10 a.m. Pacific, we get the year 2 combat reveal stream. We'll be hosting that, twitch.tv/Destiny Reset. So if you want to come hang out and chat while we watch, please do. And what is the most interesting thing we see in this?
Oh, dude, it's funny because even being an avid Destiny player, like I watched it, used to these short little things, and I'm like, man, that was a short one. And then like you start to focus. It took me like going and watching some of my favorite content creators to realize some things I missed. I mean, there's right off the bat, they show you the Guardian has the Whisper of the Worm on their back, which we've already had confirmation that that's going to stay in the heavy slot. But then they've got the Escalation Protocol shotgun,
one of the Ikilo shotguns.
Yeah, which instantly means
it's going to be a special or
special
energy, whatever they call that slot now.
Yep. And then the most exciting to me, one of the other things,
3-tap.
Dude.
Hand cannon.
Yes. And you've probably heard many times at this point, there was some speculation like maybe the other Guardian already took some damage or something of that nature, but many of the
they would not
Bungie
have shown
devs,
that if that was the case.
And many of the Bungie devs have intentionally like tweeted out. I think Hamrick even tweeted out something like 1, 2, 3, and DMG tweeted out something referring to 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's completely intentional. The Guardian, it's so dramatic, dude, and so it's just so good. It's so good that they did it this way. And dude, the PvP community is even PvE. I mean, they're excited, dude. 3-tap hand cannon, and I didn't realize
that's
this
a better
either,
Devils.
Yes, and I saw Triple Wreck. He tweeted out today and said, I hadn't really thought of the Better Devils this way, but of course it's in the same archetype as like IS Luna and those guns from Destiny 1. So that kind of puts it into perspective a little bit, So, anyways.
And also as to who we're gonna see, Deej tweeted earlier today that John Wisniewski is not going to be available for the stream. Mm-hmm. So we're actually going to see Greg Pang, Claude Jerome, and Josh Hamrick, along with they're going to be talking, and then we'll have Cosmo and Kevin Yanes kind of running the Guardians.
Yes,
showing off the testing and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of people are too, man. Like people are hyped about what they're going to see.
Yeah, this is a big stream, man, to show the sandbox, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, and how potent our weapons are going to be after these apparent TTK tweaks. So
yeah, and they did mention that it is just going to show off these things in the Crucible. They're not going to be taking anything into PvE, and I think that while the weapon system and economy and stuff, it is going to be for both sides. I think the bigger focus here is going to be on the changes to the sandbox.
Yeah.
Or that's at least what they want to show, and they could do that better in the Crucible.
Yeah. Dude, this is a big sandbox update / change. I mean, all the slots are changing. TTK has been tweaked. Like it's going to be interesting on day one to see. I mean, we're all excited and we have fun when a new meta settles in and it takes a few weeks. But like these are some big changes. I don't think even through Destiny 1 have we quite experienced such a jarring change. It's maybe from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, people might say so, but not like within the same iteration of the game. Like these are some major changes. So I think it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna take a while to figure out what people like and don't like about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Well, next up in Destiny player support, we get a few helpful tidbits here. First one is about elemental orb generation in Solstice of Heroes. This is, I think, universally across everybody I've talked with the day this launched, people were the most confused about how this works.
Mm-hmm.
So especially because with the green set of armor, like you've got to generate and collect elemental orbs. And so people were not totally clear on how you do that and the best way to do it. So some bullet points here. Orbs are only generated by players who have an entire Solstice armor set equipped of any quality. Okay, so you got to be wearing, you can't just have one piece on. You got to have the whole set on. Elemental orb generation does not require super ability kills or masterwork weapon kills. Players can potentially generate orbs on any kill as long as they are wearing their full Solstice armor set. The orbs are generated based off the player's equipped subclass as well as their equipped energy and power weapons. So, if you wanted to generate solar orbs, changing your loadout to all solar helps you accomplish this. Kinetic weapons can also generate orbs based off the player's loadout. And then finally, you can generate and receive these elemental orbs from local allies. If you're traveling in a fire team, coordinating elements can help you aggressively progress through pursuits. So,
there you go.
There you go. If you weren't clear, hopefully that will help you now. The elemental alignments will expire when Solstice of Heroes concludes. Some known issues are, one thing I know that they mention is that, so when you pick up these orbs, apparently there's supposed to be like a buff that you get from picking them up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not clear about what the buff is supposed to be. Like if it gives you more damage or if it gives you more ability. But they did say there's a bug that prevents it from showing up on your HUD. And you can go to your character screen and it will show it. I just don't know what it does.
Yeah,
they're working on it.
It's not, like on your actual default UI.
Yeah. Additionally, some people are having problems progressing through certain mission barriers after the joining allies message appears on screen. They mentioned that you should just wipe and respawn if you're having that problem. Or if you can't work around it, go back to the tower, restart the mission. To mitigate this issue, fire team members should ensure they stay within close proximity of one another, especially as they transition between mission areas. Other known issues, some people are unavailable or unable to upgrade their armor after completing all objectives. Objectives requiring Crucible Valor ranks are not progressing for some players. Solar weapon kill objectives sometimes does not gain progress. And the solar super kill objective for the rekindled Titan helmet is progressing slower than others. Yikes. That one is a loaded one because you have to get a lot of super kills. Like,
yeah,
I haven't gotten to that yet, but I hear it's like 350 to 500. And that stinks.
The player support section is so large this week, dude. I saw it and I'm like, Cyborg's having a blast with this.
Well, I gotta keep my peoples up.
You do, man. This is your favorite section. They appreciate it. You're
Yes.
quite the guardian.
Moments of Triumph t-shirt offer, of course, is a thing. You got to get 250 Triumph points. You go to Bungie.net. You go to the section with Triumphs, and you can claim your code to buy your shirt. I actually ordered mine today.
Very nice, bro.
It's a nice looking shirt. I'm excited. I like this
I don't
one
think
better
I ordered
than
the last
year's.
one. I don't think I ordered last year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they changed. I'm also happy they changed the shirt, like the shirt itself, not the design. Last year's didn't fit me well. It's like sometimes Bungie shirts are really nicely fitting, and then sometimes they use a certain shirt that fits me like a paper bag. Like it's like, okay, without like getting, I don't know how to say this, but Guardians come in all sizes, right? Some shirts are better for bigger Guardians. Some shirts are better for smaller Guardians. The Triumph shirts have always been really loose fitting and baggy on me, and I don't like to wear them.
Yeah.
I looked in the newer shirt. They're using a better type of shirt. It's one I'm familiar. It's those Bella canvas unisex. We've used those on some of our shirts. They're really nice.
Well, I remember the Nepal shirt. I have that one still, and it was a real thin material, and I didn't wear it a lot because of that, but
yeah,
that's okay. It went to a good cause.
Anyways, I'm real stickler about that stuff.
Dude, shirts, collars got to be tight.
Yeah.
Don't do no loose collar type thing. Luckily, my wife and I have been together long enough. I used to shop. I used to enjoy shopping, but she knows like exactly how I like my clothes, and she'll usually like pick stuff up for me while she's shopping.
Dude, lucky you.
Yeah.
Lucky
So,
you.
you know, guys can be picky with their clothes too, man. I can't do that whole loose collar stuff. Like a V-neck, okay, maybe a little bit, of course, but you give me just a typical old shirt, it's got to be tight around the neck, man. I don't know about you.
That's why I'm cool. I like it just to fit around my neck, but I don't like the ones that are, I don't know how to describe it, like where the collar almost starts to go up your neck.
Oh, really?
It's really tight. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, see, I've never.
I hate those shirts.
Some dudes don't like to wear ties either, and in my previous profession, I had to wear a tie every day, and I've never minded like that tight fit around my neck. Like I enjoy wearing a tie, so like that may not bug me. We may be different. Like I like a shirt. I like to barely be able to pull a shirt over my head like tight, dude.
Tell us about your favorite T-shirts.
Yes, please. At Destiny Reset. Not anything Destiny related. Just tell us about your shirt preference.
So much. Finally, at the conclusion of Solstice of Heroes, when we see the 2.0 patch the week of August 28th, they said there's going to be some unusual behavior in game. Collections will be unavailable. Now, one thing to note, in the first iteration of the TWAB, I found a typo. It said collections and vault, and what it should have said was collections in your vault or something to that effect. Dimg went and corrected it. So if you're worried about your vault being inaccessible, that is not the case. Yeah. You just won't be able to access your collections. So collections for emblems, exotic weapons, and armor. If you want to have something from those in your inventory, you need to do that ahead of time. My guess is since they're pushing out, Forsaken with this patch, if that's the case, then we would be able to see a lot of gear and stuff in there. Yeah, so I think they're just gonna make it ghost for a week.
Yeah, I know. When I first read that and thought they meant vault, until I saw his tweet, I was like, "Wait, like we're basically going to be playing like
no way.
like the game for like the week before."
People would lose their minds.
Yeah, I was like, "Hold on a second, this is weird." But no, he clarified.
And then also, Nightfall strike scoring will not be available. We'll have more information about strikes and how they're changing in Forsaken in the coming weeks. Sounds like Nightfall strike scoring might going away.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird when Forsaken drops, because in the past when new DLC drops, I guess those old strikes did they go away with them, or were they still even in the heroic? They were still on the heroic playlist, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering if we're going to have opportunities to get that Nightfall strike specific loot if if the new strikes in Forsaken have specific loot, whether they're a Nightfall or not. You see what I'm saying? We talked about this last week a little bit. I just wonder how that's going to work. That's another thing on the to-do list. I don't have the DFA and I don't have the Silicon Aroma or whatever. So it's like, dang, if I don't get those by...
I don't have any... I have 0 strike-specific loot from the Nightfalls. Dude. I haven't got anything to drop. Now... Have I grinded it like crazy? No.
Yeah, you just haven't. Oh, you haven't. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't either. Yeah, I've only played.
I think one week, I think it was it was. I want to say it was the strike for the Silicon Aroma. Like I think we ran it like maybe 5 times or something, and that's all the time we had. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's another way. That's another way. Like I was prioritizing my list. So like I've got the Escalation Protocol shotgun on there I still don't have, and I'm like, okay, what things can I get that I know I should be able to still go get after Forsaken drops? And like that's one of them. I still don't have the Midnight hand cannon from I can go back and get those whenever. That's like old school stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like prioritize my stuff.
Get the stuff that'll be limited first.
Yeah.
All right. And then we saw the movies of the week. Go check these out. We got a 6-time Claymores versus Callus video. That was cool. and then our Nightfall strike scores. And then to finish it off, a picture of the exclusive exotic ship.
It's like they were trolling me, dude. It's like they were trolling me. I'm sure they weren't intentionally. They probably didn't even see my tweet, but yeah, we'll talk about that later.
People are after that ship, man. And of course, we did see a patch or a hotfix this week that basically just opened up Solstice of Heroes. I think it fixed like a couple other little tiny things that they slipped in there. Nothing too notable. And that was the news.
Yeah, dude. It's exciting week that we talked about before the show. Just that reveal trailer alone, as short as it was, hyped the community probably up as much as all the news we've been getting. But the actual, amounts of news we got this week, it's been a little slower compared to the other ones, and that's okay, man. We've been getting overloaded. So
yeah, there's going to be a lot in the coming weeks that they're going to detail. Positive.
Yeah. I mean, the stream alone next week's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna drop plenty of stuff. So, very cool. Very cool.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
I wanted to pause. All right, sir. CyborgSasquatch, how was your reset, buddy?
Hey, it's been a while since you said it. I really wanted you to.
It is.
Busy.
It's all right.
Grindy. Fun. Everybody's on.
Oh, dude.
On that Solstice Grind.
I know. I go to my friends list and I just scroll over to see a page and a half, 2 pages. It's like, wow, this is cool to see this.
Yeah. I've already, of course, they already have folks that have finished the grind for Solstice.
Dude, less than 24 hours. Community.
Yeah, they had one character, and then today I saw somebody, same guy, who's finished all 3, and he got the ship. So, yes.
What do you think about Solstice? What are you thinking?
Personally, I think it's great. I think it's really cool. I think that this event is probably more developed and just cooler for me as a Guardian than any of the other events that they've done this year. The execution's better. There's stuff, like there's more stuff and there's actual stuff to do. Mm-hmm. Like if you just stack this up against Faction Rallies 1 and 2.0 or against Crimson or against Dawning, it's just got more meat on the bone, Yeah. I like that it's a month long. It gives people plenty of time. I guess, subjective.
Yeah, I mean, if just the event alone and the actual moments of triumph and the
right,
the bounties inside of the event, I think a month's good. It's just we get all this.
It gives you a substantial amount of time to attack this however you can. Right, you've got weeks. If some weeks you're busier than others and you can't, that's okay. You're not gonna. I don't think there's anything that's gonna change each reset, so you don't have to worry about timing on stuff. The core gameplay that they added with the missions are super fun. Mm-hmm. I found they're really hard to do solo.
Oh, dude, that's I've only done 1.5 this week, and I've just been playing solo a couple nights.
Initially, I did the first 2 solo, and then the last 3 with a fire team. And then yesterday I was working on my other character, and I was doing them all solo. It took me 2 hours to finish those missions. Because, without an anchor, without a Guardian to help you, if you die, you just restart a checkpoint. Mm-hmm. And it can be really frustrating, but they're those are pretty long missions when you just can't roll over everything.
Oh yeah, dude. It reminded me of just old school video games. I ran the first mission that I did, and it I died a couple times about halfway through it, and I'm I made it pretty far after the first time I died, and I'm surely I hit a checkpoint. Come on, tell me I hit a checkpoint. And then I went all the way back to where I didn't think I was gonna go, and it's I didn't die enough that it was frustrating because I think I beat it after that one, but it's this. I like this challenge. I found
Yeah.
myself like old school peeking around corners
Right.
and before I would jump to the next ledge, I'm like scoping out the area to make sure there's not any turrets sitting over there, you know?
Yeah, I think the
just old
difference
school.
is like I don't think that there's any scaling with your fire team size like you might normally see in strikes. Like if you play a strike solo, there's different scaling than if you play a strike with a fire team. At least there was like in Destiny 1. I don't quote me on that in Destiny 2, but just we got used to that concept, right? There's no difference in these missions. So there's a lot of meaty ads like orange bars, yellow bars, you know, ultras and majors and stuff. And it just takes some time like to like work through all those dudes. And so yeah, it takes a while. It is really fun though. Like I did like the challenge, and I was thinking like running these, like, you know, not everybody would like it, but wouldn't it be cool if campaigns were like this?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they were just really difficult. Like,
Well, yeah, I saw tweets of people like recalling, you know, playing old Halo days, like on the hardest difficulty and stuff like that. So it started to remind them of. People, you know, there's a certain aspect of the community that enjoys that, right? That challenge.
yeah, that's a great point. It's like playing, you know, those harder modes. Like it was what, Legendary, and stuff in Halo. Yeah,
the
definitely,
skulls.
man. Like,
Yeah.
very reminiscent of that. So it's fun. And it made me think, you know, that it reminded me how they're going to bring back the heroic daily missions. I hope there's
They need to be
something like
hard.
this, you know.
Yeah, dude. I agree. That's
I
a
doubt
really
that they're
good
going to
point.
redux or remix every mission, but
Just
know,
make them harder. Well, I
just
mean,
add
we
that
said this
challenge.
when Osiris dropped the heroic adventures dropped with that, right?
Yeah, and those were
and
pretty hard initially.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yeah, initially. I don't something there. Steve Cotton did say like they're gonna do something different with adventures to make us want to go play them. But I
Yeah, I'm
I
wondering
hope
what
there's something, whether it's with adventures, story missions, like you said, something to where it doesn't get easier once we're like, you know, nearing max light, like something that's still hard to do, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways.
So yeah, so far, you know, this is what, 3-4 days in, I got my Titan up to the blue set, and I'm like, I have like 2 or 3 things on my Warlock green set to do. I have to like collect arc orbs in a strike, and then I have to do the Crucible super kills. That's been the first complaint people have had this week, because I think you had to get like 32 or 33 super kills in the Crucible, which is,
People don't want to wait for that.
you know,
man.
unless you're just having a great match, like that's, you know, 5-6 matches at least. So what I decided, I got it done on my Titan, and what I'm going to do is just try to get one and maybe the other character, just get everything done but that, because Mayhem is up next reset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
everybody
I'll
wants
go
to
in
grind
and do
their
that
armor out
real
quick.
fast.
They don't want to wait for Mayhem.
Yeah, I'll do that real fast. And then I'm going to work on the stuff for the blue set on my Titan while I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a grind, you know. There's a lot of different stuff you got to do. You know, both PvE and PvP, and that's fun for me. Like, I like having a variety of things you got to do. It's not as droll as the faction rallies, where you're literally just doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as bad of a grind because you're doing a variety of stuff. And I think the only thing I might get sick of, unfortunately, is by the end of this, I mean, I'll have run those missions, like 60 times or something by that point, you know?
Yeah. Are you doing 2 characters or 3? Do you have 3?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to go for all 3, man.
Very nice. I couldn't remember if you only had 2 characters or if you had 3.
No, I made one of
I thought
each.
you had 3.
I just don't play a lot on my hunter. But I do have him, like, he's almost at 385.
Very nice.
So I haven't started this on that one yet. I'm going to I don't know. It just kind of depends on how much I get done this weekend. But my goal was to try to get all 3 almost through the blue stuff this week. If I can basically do 1 set a week, at least, then I'll finish them all. You know. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, man? I've talked a lot about it. What do you think about the event?
Dude, the event, like, overall, I'm right there with you. Like, even when we were talking about it last week, you know, I went through and I read the page again, and I'm like, man, I'm just kind of pumped for this. Like, this sounds fun. I love that it's tied in with, like, the wrapping the year up. Of course, it's, you know, it's kind of the theme of it. And then it's incorporating our moments of triumph inside of these other accomplishments we need to do inside of the event. And, I don't know, it's fun. You know, I tweeted out this week, I'm like, I'm sitting at work. I'm like, dude, I just want to go home and grind that gear out. And I tweeted out and I'm like, what is it about this Solstice gear that like makes me want to grind it out? Like, it's not exclusive. Everyone has it. I'm like, is it the glow? Is it the, I mean, what is it? And it
just presented really well, man.
Yeah, it is, man. And I, you know, getting feedback from other people, they're like, it's a great combination of, you know, a grind, but like a reward and the celebration of the event. And there's limited time. Yeah. It's done really well. And I mean, you'd think that, I mean, this, you know, being Bungie, you know, I wondered, you know, they're launching this, like it very easily could have, who knows, we played it for a little while and it could have went the other way. It's like, man, seriously, we got to grind out armor pieces, but something about it is just implemented so well, man. And it's so fun. The missions are fun. You know, you already touched on that. It's people, I've seen multiple, you know, tweets where people are like, my friends are back online. They're grinding this stuff out. You know, they're finishing their moments of triumph. We've got the gear, we're on the missions. We're doing this, we're doing that. And it's just hitting that mark, I think. And it's doing it for me as well. Like I love going to the inventory page and looking at those bounties. You know, it reminds me of the record books, which you used to always, you know, make a big effort to complete. And I would tackle specific things in them, but later on in some of the record books, like I didn't really try to complete the whole book. I just wasn't, you know, motivated, at least in my play. I played a lot of Crucible and stuff. So, you know, we had many shows ago where we talked about, you know, like it would be cool if they brought record books back now. Like I could see me appreciating them more. And in a sense, this is kind of that. And
it accomplishes the same exact thing. You have a score and then you have the different objectives. It just presents it differently in the UI. Differently, yeah. You know?
Yeah. But it works. I think maybe, you know, there's maybe a lot of Guardians out there like me who didn't appreciate, maybe didn't utilize or appreciate the record book back in the day quite as much as what it actually did for the game. You know, like there's very tangible, obvious things to go do and things you need to complete. And I love just checking my progress on them, figuring out the most efficient way to do it. And then having rewards for it, you know?
And I think that this shows how valuable that mechanic is going to be, since it's essentially this stuff, you know, is going to be available in this way year round with triumphs and with records, in collections. Like I was talking with a friend of mine about this, the other night, and how, you know, basically once Forsaken kicks off, there will, you know, different objectives that you'll be able to check off and collect a score on. I mean, you know how much I just was obsessed with Grimoire score in Destiny.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Going way back, and we're going to have that score again. It's such a trite thing, but
it's good though, man. Dude, I spent the last little bit, I forget when the deadline was, but I wanted that emblem going into Destiny 2 for having over 5,000 Grimoire. And I needed like, I don't know, 400 or 500 more. Dude, I spent like the last couple weeks just finally going and searching for ghosts and
all that stuff.
It's a small thing, but it's a big thing, man. You're right. There's a lot of value to it, even though it's just a number, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, there's players that are coming back just for that, like just because they want to get this collection, they want to have that stuff, they want to have the score. The armor's
pretty. I think it's pretty. I like it. I think.
Oh, it is. Good. Yeah, everything that all the event stuff, the armor, the the like ghosts and ships and sparrows are like really nice, like really pretty. I love the design on them.
Yeah, I want that like Tron looking.
Yeah,
blue
that one's really
sparrow.
cool.
Yeah,
It's funny. I saw
other one,
somebody posted like a little clip of them like zooming through that and playing
Yeah.
Tron music.
I think it was.
Shotgun.
I think it was Shackles. I think it was. I think
that was funny.
Yeah,
That made me laugh. But yeah, have you gotten any cool like emotes or anything yet?
No, I got the other Sparrow, but dude, I haven't had a ton of time to play this week. I did a little solo grinding, just short sessions, a couple different nights, but I'm still sitting on my green gear right now. I'm trying to get through that so I can get to the blue. But no. I've only had like 2 event engrams drop, so I haven't gotten a ton of crazy loot from the event yet. What about you?
I got the fishing emote.
Oh, nice.
Which
I
is
didn't
really
realize.
funny because you can see it pulls 3 different things out of the water.
Yeah, I didn't know that about it. Yeah.
You'll either get a boot, or you'll get a fish, or you'll get Callus's skull.
Yep.
Then I got like a couple of the different. I got like Raise the Roof, which is I really wanted that one, and then 2 of the other dances I got to drop, and then some of the other packages I opened were just like they're just like a shader, or shaders, and the glows. I have like a few different of the glows. But you know, we've got like multiple weeks. I do like that they mention like you will not get repeat items until you have all the items. So as long as you just continue opening these, like you'll get something new every time. Which is great.
Yeah, I like that.
Especially
and I love that we get one every time we level up like we normally would.
Especially if you want to just spend $20, like, I don't know, big deal, guys. I haven't said to spend money in Eververse a long time, but at least there's a knockout thing where if you did spend money for a big pack of these engrams, like you'll get something new out of each one.
Yeah, and that's big, man. You know, that is really
having repeats has been like a thing that's really infuriated me when I've spent money there.
Yeah, so that's understandable too. I mean, if you're gonna spend money, it's like you said, it's nice to be reassured you're not gonna get duplicates. So. Yeah.
Well, Solstice is going on all month. I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it. In other stuff going down this week, of course, this being like the 3rd week, Whisper of the Worm is available in that quest. People have finally obtained the exotic ship. Did you check it out? Did you see it?
Dude, it's beautiful.
Ooh, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't know, but
beautiful.
It's really cool.
It is, dude, and I'm not even on track with that right now. I haven't even ran the heroic yet, dude. I'm wondering if that's something else.
I just have to do it this weekend and I get the ship.
That's everything. I'm like wondering if I'll be able to do it after Forsaken drops. You know, like I wonder if that's gonna be done.
I think so. I think this will be around still, I would imagine.
For a while. Every weekend, yeah. I'm hoping so. I'm trying to prioritize things, and some things are question marks, and I'm like, dude, if I don't get some of these things.
And like, here's a tip too. If so you got to do the heroic once, and then go do the, I guess you could call like the Easter egg stuff to get the blueprint for the ship. And then you're going to have to run it on 3 different modifiers, which rotate weekly. But pro tip, once that happens, if you run it on the normal mode, like if you go in with somebody, to the way, like the like normal way you would spawn it, it will count. I'm guessing it's bugged. Okay. But if the heroic's giving you trouble, or if you're just spending time helping people get it, it'll still count for that objective.
Okay. Yeah. That's what you were helping quite a few people, weren't you?
Yeah, I've helped people both weekends go in. My friends that like, I had several friends that weren't available the first weekend to do it, so I went and helped some people, and then I can't remember. I think most of my buddies have it now, but I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to be doing it more this weekend. Somebody's going to be like, all right, I got to go do it. Yeah,
dude, I'm pumped I got in that first weekend and at least got it. I haven't been playing a ton the last like week and a half or so since we got back from vacation. So like getting Yeah, dude. Like I'm just pumped. I have it, and it's like, okay, I'll try to find some time to get a fire team together and run that heroic. So.
And as well, people have gotten the first completion of the catalyst for the gun, and it's got the perk box breathing on it, which gives you additional damage once you kind of lock into a target. And I was watching a clip somebody put up. Who was it? Oh man, Mesa Sean, and they were doing the Nightfall, and it was either Nightfall or Heroic Strike. I don't remember what the Nightfall is this week, but it's the Cabal boss. You know, the one where you go and I'm terrible about remembering the name of stuff. Where he has like, he can get shielded on the big platform and the green Cabal dude. Anyways, so you know how you'll see him in a room before he goes up and you have to go up the platform?
Oh yeah.
They
is it the Arms
melted
Dealer
him.
Strike? Is that what it is?
Which one?
Is it Arms Dealer?
Yeah, Arms Dealer. There we go.
Yeah.
I
just played it the other day.
I played this stuff so much and I'm terrible with names. They melted him in the first room.
That's crazy.
Like within seconds.
Toast.
It was so
That's
ridiculous.
so cool to have guns like that in the game. Again, though, that potent. You know, it's just it's OP, but it's fun.
Sure.
It's really fun in PvE. That's where it's a little less controversial, I guess you could say.
Sure, yeah. People don't complain. They're just like, oh, this is more efficient. Wonderful.
Don't. Yeah. Yep.
Have you played any quick play this week?
No, dude, no. I've just done some
tapped
solo
into
grinding.
that controversy.
I have seen it, yes. I've seen long threads about that.
So, of course, like last week or so, Bungie had tweeted that there was an issue going on with the matchmaking in quick play, and something was off, and most people's take was that they basically lost skill base, which quick play was never really introduced, or like they've never presented it as, okay, this has skill based matchmaking. You have to assume there's some element of that, but they always said, okay, this is connection priority and comp is skill priority, right? When matching. But it kind of seemed like it was just the Wild West for the past week or so. And then they made a change or a fix or whatever you might call it in the middle of this week. I think around Thursday the 2nd or so. And now people are complaining pretty heavily that it's really sweaty in quick play. I don't know what the reality of what's going on is, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny because
I haven't been in this week. So last week I played, dude, and we definitely had some crazy games where we were winning by like many points. But that was before all of this.
But that happened. That always happens in quick play. Like you're gonna have close games. You're gonna have games where you're just obviously more skilled. You're gonna have games where you're obviously less skilled. Like it's quick play. It's kind of a roll of the dice. It's funny because like skill-based matchmaking and the algorithms and things that they use to like match people up it's always been a hot topic in the point of contention in Destiny. Like they still just don't have it. I don't want to say right, but to a place where everybody's pleased. You know what I mean?
Which is a hard thing to hit, especially now with two different types of playlists and two different ranks.
Yeah. And there's so much feedback that is just subjective and, it's just totally based on like what just specifically happened to you and your team in a place that like you can't just look at, some tweets and a small number of people that are talking about it and say, oh yeah, skill-based matchmaking is back and everybody is sweating and getting, having a bad time. Because then I jumped in a party and they were like, yeah, we're you got to get in here. We're just destroying people. It's crazy. Like, so it's just, I don't think the whole picture's there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's going on, but I hesitate to like comment too much on what it is because I don't think we know the whole story.
Yeah.
What's really going on.
It kind of feels like the olden days, man. There's enough to do and enough excitement around the game right now that we're back to talking about matchmaking in the Crucible. Doesn't it feel like the old days?
Oh, man. Yeah, and especially because you get sick of talking about it. Like, I don't even want to chime in because I just don't care anymore. Like,
how did you know Destiny was at a healthy place for the hobbyists in the community? Well, when we started talking about matchmaking problems again.
Yeah, seriously.
That's funny.
I don't know. Hopefully
there is obviously, I mean, the community, they know, they play this game. Obviously they played enough. They're usually pretty spot on when something's not quite acting the way that it normally did, but it doesn't necessarily mean something's broken or something's, you know what I mean? Like they're on point enough usually to find crazy secret quests like the Whisper very quickly and to notice that something seems different in the matchmaking.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but it's definitely been a topic.
Yeah.
I've kind of like I haven't like avoided it. Other than seeing a few threads here and there, I just haven't really gotten too much in-depth detail on it, nor have I jumped into it much. So just kind of doing the Solstice thing. Yeah,
and there's some, I think on the blue armor, there's a requirement to get 5 Crucible wins. So I'll have to jump in and do that. See how that goes.
I was gonna say, speaking of Solstice again, we did scoot right over. I don't want to talk about it super long, but I did want to talk about that ship for a second.
Yeah. I almost forgot. Yeah.
We were talking. I was talking about this with some people on Twitter this week, and in the Discord, the Dirt Fame Discord, we had some nice, healthy conversation about it. It helped me. I love having these kind of conversations, dude, because it helps me, obviously, like anyone, see other perspectives, other player types, their opinion about a certain thing. And what I'm talking about is that ship that we mentioned earlier that's at the bottom of the TWAB this week. That ship requires you, it's the Solstice of Heroes ship. It's beautiful. I really like it. But it requires you to level that Solstice gear up the legendary on all 3 characters. Correct? All 3 classes, correct?
Yes.
Cyborg. Mm-hmm. So, that goes to say too, saying that out loud, if you have 2 Titans, you won't get it, right? You've got to have...
I don't know totally about that. I really hadn't thought about it.
Because I think it specifically says classes. It says all 3 classes.
Okay.
So that stinks. That does kind of stink if you have 3 characters leveled up there. But so I've been thinking about this. So your
thought on it was you're disappointed, right?
I am, I'm not like crazy salty or anything like that. But when I saw that, I'm like, I guess maybe, I was thinking about it all week, and I'm like, how do I explain this? It's hard to do in Discord and stuff like that without sounding like I'm contradicting myself. But to be clear, you have 2 characters, right? Yes, I have 2 characters. Just recently leveled a hunter. I decided when D2 launched, like I had a character, I had a Titan on PC and I had a Titan on PS4. And I'm like, you know what? Instead of trying to balance 3 characters or however many on 2 different platforms, I'm like, I'm going to have 1 on each. And this is how I'm going to play it. I'm going to try to master my Titan, PvP and PvE, and just focus on that. And, in time, I do have, my game time is probably even a little bit less than it was back in the D1 days. So, I'm just like, I'm not going to focus on grinding 3 characters anymore. So anyways, long story short, recently did decide to level a hunter. We had a little bit of a slow period there, and I leveled the hunter fairly quickly. Surprised myself with how quickly you can do it, to take her into the Crucible, because I do like to have the option of a hunter in the Crucible. At some point, maybe I'll level a Warlock. But so, long story short, see this ship requires 3 classes, and I'm like, oh, no way, dude. Like, this is a celebration of Destiny 2 Year 1, our triumphs, what we've done. Like, I can't get this ship. It's beautiful. I want it in my collection. Why do I have to grind 3 classes? And the thing, like, I have to say up front is, and if you've listened to the previous shows, you know this already, I am 100% on board with exclusive loot. I love the Claymore. I love the Whisper. I love raid loot, like all that stuff. You got to grind it. You got to run the activities to get the things that you want. Just like we talked about the Masterworks for the gear last week. It kind of breaks the mold on how you level Masterworks. But for this Solstice armor, if you want the Masterwork, you got to run the Prestige raid, you know, stuff like that. So I do love that stuff. I feel like in a way for this event, for this celebration of Guardians, it's the wrong place to require a 3-class grind. Now, then somebody told me, well, what other event would you do this? And I'm like, you know, that makes sense too. Like, this is the celebration of the year, celebrating us Guardians. If you put in the time to level 3 classes, you should get something. And I agree with that. Like, I'm happy those players that are able to do that, and even if they don't have the time, they make the time to do it. That's awesome. I'm glad they're getting something. It just stinks. It really does stink in this particular scenario that it's the only exotic ship celebrating our first year in Destiny 2. Like, I thought about this. If there was another exotic ship, would I be like a little bit happier about it? Or maybe leveling the gear on one class, you get the exotic ship. And in this case, while the ship is cosmetic, in this particular scenario, maybe taking it another tier of cosmetic would have been a little better. You get an ornament that's awesome for the ship if you have 2 classes leveled. Yeah. And if you have 3 classes leveled, you get a super awesome ornament for the ship. So again, I'm interested to hear what the listeners think too. Tweet at us and let us know what you think about the 3-class requirement for this exotic ship in Solstice of Heroes. Right. Again, man, like, I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself. Like, at the end of the day, I'm happy these Guardians that are able to do this and that worked hard to level 3 characters are going to get this. It just stinks for me because I'm excited. It's a celebration. I want this beautiful ship, and, you know, I'm not going to get it. You know, at the end of the day, I may not get the Claymore. And, you know, from Tocom's tweet a few days ago, it sounds like the Claymore is going away after that. Yep. So, you know, it's part of it. I guess, you know, it's, again, to wrap it all up, it's I think a combination of the event and the fact that there's only one beautiful exotic ship celebrating our year. And it's not going to be in my collection, man. Like, all this stuff, it's my choice not to level a Warlock. My Warlock's sitting there. But in all honesty, dude, like, I don't know. I would have to, like you said earlier in the show, there are things that I would just have to decide that I'm not going to be able to get. Right. If I want to push to get that ship. And, you know, I mean, okay, maybe that's a hobbyist portion of the game coming back, you know? I don't know. And
yeah, initially when you brought it up, like, my first thought was, well, you know, it's important and it's good that there is something for the hobbyists and for people who put in that time. And, like, it's cool that there's a reward specifically for that. So my initial thought was like, yeah, it sucks like that people can't get it, but, you know, not everybody can get everything. But then thinking more about it, I think the core issue is that it is a reward that is a limited time reward that is event based, where there was no way for you to know that would be the requirement, and there's such a time crunch to make it happen. And even 4 weeks is a lot of time, but still, you know, that's 3 characters you have to bring all the way through legendary. Like, that's still a lot of time. Right. And I do think that maybe they could have done it differently or done it better. Like, I wonder if it may have been smarter to tie that reward maybe to the triumph score. Like, okay, maybe if you get 400 triumph score, you get the ship. Or you know, maybe you tie, I don't know, you tie like a score, maybe doing all 3 of those, you know, legendary sets on 3 characters would give you a score, you know, like a bounty or what have you. So it would be a reward, and maybe it was like 50 points or 100 points or something like that. Like, I do think that it's cool and it's good that there's a reward for that because it gives an incentive, but I see how it does stink. Like, it does make it hard for you to get that if you want it. And, I think ultimately the problem is just that it's an event-based reward and you don't have all season, like the Claymore, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't have any, you don't have any heads up on it either, you know, that you would need to be prepared really to be able to do that. One thing to keep in mind though, if you are listening and you're thinking about this, I'm pretty sure all you would have to do is get a Guardian through the campaign to be ready to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're going to get gear that gives you, like, you don't have to be at a certain power level. Like, you could just come out with the right level and you're going to get gear of certain power levels from the event that will give you the power to do what you need to do. Like, you could even, like, get the right, like, I think you could get the purple gear and go run the raid with it, you know? So like, you could do it. It's possible. So, but I don't disagree with you. Like, I think that you're right. Like, you know, like exclusive gear, like things that are hard to get are important. They're good in the game. I just think there's a few things that I think that just execution wise, they could have done a little bit differently. And, you know, this is the first time they're doing things just like this. And you know, we need to provide that feedback. Like, here's what we liked. Here's what we didn't like. And they can keep those things in mind for future events like this and for other things too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I definitely want to follow up with saying, trying to, you know, in their eyes or from their perspective, you know, they hear all this feedback about wanting to grind, wanting things to chase, the hobbyist back in the game. Like, I'm sure it's a challenge not only to get these rewards in the game, but then to decide what the sweet spot is for, you know, exclusive loot and where and what to require for it, you know, and it's like matchmaking. You're going to rub somebody wrong somewhere. And unfortunately in this scenario, it was the way I play the game. You know, it was me. I had someone else tweet at me that says she told me, she has collected every ship in the game up to this point, and she just straight up does not have the time to put in to get this ship, and she was upset about it. And you know, it's okay. It's sometimes we're not going to get everything, but it does stink. It does kind of stink. But that's part of Destiny, man. I just think about not having that ship in my collection, dude. And
I'm sorry, man.
I have seriously contemplated leveling that warlock, like, and forgetting some other things, but I don't know. Like, some of those other things are important to me to get to. So, you know, it brought up another conversation in our Discord, you know, off of this one was, you know, it made me think even further. Going forward, you know, a heads up, like you said, is cool, you know, for people maybe that don't have 3 characters or, you know, something equivalent of that, whatever it may be. Like, the hobbyist, I do want, like, their motivation to bring the hobbyist grind back to the game to be centered around, like, a main character experience, not like grinding multiple characters doing the same thing. Like, to me, the fun about running another character is it's a different class, it's different movement, it's different abilities, it's different looking gear. Not so much like I get to go do all the same thing again in an event to get something, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want the focus of the hobbyist to be around a main character. Everyone has a main character, you know?
I can't really think of anything else.
I don't think there has been. That's part of it.
That required you to have all classes or a certain makeup of your classes, you know?
Yeah. I'm just going to end by saying I do really think that ship is beautiful. I'm okay with not having it, and I'm happy for you Guardians who have, been able to put in the time, hard work to get in 3 characters, and I'm happy for you guys. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to cry over here.
For sure.
Okay, moving on.
All right, man. So that was a reset this week.
Yeah. We'll maybe talk about it at a different show since I talked about it very long there about one ship. But I know you've been playing No Man's Sky. I haven't jumped back in yet. I want to. I started a new character and everything, so we get some No Man's Sky to talk about maybe next reset.
Yeah, I haven't played any this week because I just had to put it away. But I'm
You're
so addicted to that game.
Yep.
Every night that I don't log in, I'm like itching. I'm like, I want to go back.
Yeah, that game just seems to me like I bought it at launch. I've reinstalled it several times, and I've reinstalled it this time. Decided I really do want to play it for a little while, and I feel like that's one of those games. Like many years from now, we're gonna be like, dude, that game, like at least at the next launch, I think many might say like it's quite an experience. It's a neat game. It really is.
It is.
So,
well, in Discourse, we don't have any new feedback from the community this week, but we would love to hear what you think about Solstice of Heroes. How it's been implemented. What do you think about the loot chase? What do you think about the missions, the activities? Man, I almost like we glossed over this because we were tweeting about it, but we got to real quick, like, how cool was it to go in that meditation with Ikora and go down to the last city?
Oh, dude, yeah. And man, people are so loving that space, dude. Yeah.
And it was it tied something together for me that never made sense. That, okay, so what Ikora is saying, you start the event, you go to the statue, and you're going to the day that the Red Legion attacked, but it's the day, like it's before it goes down that night. And she explains that they were having a celebration in the city of all the things that the Guardians have accomplished. And you were away on a mission, which you see that at the beginning of the campaign, right? You're coming back and you run into the middle of this attack going down. She's like, well, you were 2,000 miles away. The city was having a celebration. And you come in and like the streets are covered in confetti and there's fireworks and it's so cool, right? And I always wondered, because they had my favorite concept art that they released before Destiny 2 came out was this parade of Guardians. And I thought it was so cool because it was like a glimpse into the last city.
I remember that one.
And all the Guardians are walking through with like their ornamental armor. Like that was my screen, my background on my PC for forever. And so you're going into this memory of that and seeing like that day in the city before, ruin occurs. But it was so cool to be able to like step foot in the last city for the first time, like beyond what we saw in the Red War campaign.
It's the implementation of this event, just like the Whisper quest, dude. It's fun. It feels cool. It's just got an overall like cool vibe around it, and it that alone makes you want to play more. Yeah. It's a good time.
But it almost makes last thought is it almost makes me wonder if there was some part of the beginning of the story of the campaign where that was part of it and it got cut.
That's very possible. Man.
Like they did concept art for it. They're alluding to like the fact that it happened. And even in the campaign, so I was running that final mission again. When you're going through like the destroyed city, there's like streamers everywhere, like banners across stuff. Like you can see there was a celebration, but they never like talk about that in the campaign. So I think that it was something like initially that maybe they were going to open up with that and either they cut it for time or for execution. I don't know, but there was definitely something planned as part of that.
Right. You think so?
Anyways,
either that or maybe they're just extremely on point these days and playing super far ahead. I mean, we knew all the DLC order just from that final scene in D2's campaign.
Yeah.
maybe they're so far ahead in their content planning and creation. But no, I think you're onto something there. It seems to fit in so well.
Yeah. All right, man. But yeah, in Discourse, so let us know what you think about all this stuff.
Yeah.
And what you think about the event so far. We continue to talk about it, but it's a win so far in my book.
Yep, I agree, man.
We have any new patrons this week?
We do. We got a new patron, Kim Rex.
Kim Rex.
Thank you so much.
A raid with you.
Very cool. Yeah,
Small
that
world.
popped up
Thanks,
today.
Kim. Thanks,
Awesome
Kim, for becoming a patron. If you don't know what a patron is, you can go to patreon.com/Destiny Reset, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And you get some rewards. You get a shout out on the podcast. Of course, you get your gamer tag on our website, and you get an invitation to a Discord channel just for Dirt Fan patrons and supporters. And then worth mentioning, we haven't in a while, but if you don't like doing the monthly Patreon thing, that's okay. You can also send us a tip through our PayPal. And we've got a link to our PayPal on the website. Just look for that little P, and you can click there and, buy us a cup of coffee or whatever you feel like. We've got plenty of people that do that, and we appreciate their support as well.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
All right, man.
Another week. Another
week.
reset.
Another reset. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at the Arrow. Oh my gosh, I did it. I was waiting for an episode where I would do that. That's my old Twitter handle, man.
Yep.
Some other guy had my current one. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, man?
You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter and Mixer, and then you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter or the World Wide Web at DestinyResetPodcast.com. It's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Thank you guys for your Apple Podcast reviews. We got some more. What does that total us up to, Arrow?
Dude, we're at 187 iTunes reviews in the U.S. store. Yes.
If you need a reminder, when we reach 200, I'm going to open up the old Cyborg Destiny loot vault. Give away some stuff. Got some good stuff in there. Been stocking up for a while. And I'm going to give a bunch of stuff away. So, need to get to 200 before Forsaken drops. So, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please come leave us a review. Who do we hear from this week?
This week, we've got Mars on Earth. Thank you. Kreger Maka?
Yeah.
Ace Suderman.
All right. Thank
you guys so much. Yeah, dude, they've been hopping ever since you've been challenging them here and teasing the loot. We've gotten like 10 to 15 in the last couple episodes. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to do that. Even if it's just stars, even if you leave us a written, even if you got a critique in there, definitely leave it. We want to hear those things. So we appreciate it.
Yes, we do. So appreciate those. I'm confident we're going to hit 200.
It's going to be soon. Hopefully the goal is before Forsaken launches. Before Forsaken launches.
All right, man.
Yeah, dude, it's early in the week, earlier than usual, but it's late, dude. I think I'm going to maybe fit in some Destiny. I got stuff to do. Like I'm going to have to fit in some late nights. I got some stuff to do. All right, guys. Until next week, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.